one of these truckers had to deliver oil, like olive oil, to several restaurants. So Ciro was supposed to help the trucker in taking out the boxes with the olive oil and putting them in the restaurant. So we thought this will be a very good idea. Ciro will be very, very happy because he is outside, he's in the truck, we're going to work on his motivation. His mama was very, very happy, and also Ciro was very happy because you could already see his eyes blinking and a big smile when he saw the big truck. But yeah, we all know autism is autism, and after a few weeks, the truckers said, well, it's so difficult going on the road with Ciro because we do not know what to do. Sometimes he starts hitting himself, and then we do not know how to help him. And we say, stop, Ciro, and we are so afraid that he will be hurt and that people are going to see this behavior. We feel embarrassed. It's not possible. Okay. We sensibilized again, and we explained to the company and to the truck drivers, please give it another chance. Take Ciro with you and write down when you see the hitting. And we're going to try to find out together with you why he is hitting himself. And we are going to give you advice, and we'll see whether the behavior gets better or not. So we had 3 truckers who had taken notes. And it was a lot of notes, unfortunately, because Ciro hit himself rather often. And they gave the situations when they had seen the hitting. I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to discuss with you where the problem or the stress behavior probably came from. So they saw the hitting, all the 3 of them could see the hitting when Ciro had to unload the truck. The second situation was in the truck. And the second situation is very easy. I'll explain it immediately. They said, all 3 of them said, sometimes when he's in the truck, he says, pick to me. And then the trucker, says, hey, what are you saying? This is a bad behavior. I don't want you to say pig. I'm not a pig. Huh? I am Giuseppe. You should not say pig to me. And Ciro was very upset. So this was very easy. We explained to the trucker, when Ciro says pig, he just wants a hug or a cuddle, and it's finished. And they tried it out immediately, and the hitting was finished right from the moment. So the first was unloading the truck, the second was in the truck when he said pig, the third one was during lunch in the restaurant, the fourth time when he hit himself was also during lunch, the fifth one was again during lunch, especially when there was a conversation between the truck driver and the lady of the restaurant. The next situation when the hitting occurred was when there was the second and the third driver, the new driver. Another situation, and all the 3 truck drivers said the same, when I have to take petrol, when I have to take fuel, he hits himself the whole time. And then also at the end of the day, when they drove him home, he hit himself. Okay, so together with the truck drivers and with the responsible, with the person who was responsible in the company, we discussed the behavior. Okay, unloading the truck. So Ciro hit himself when they started to unload the truck. And the trucker said that, okay, Ciro takes 1 box of olive oil and he puts it in the restaurant. And the truck driver is very motivated and very good person, and he says, "Good boy, Ciro, good boy." And what does Ciro do? He goes and sits in front of the truck and he wants to go on. But the work is not finished. Now, of course, we said, well, we have to visualize how many boxes Ciro has to take and to put in the restaurant. Yes, said the driver, but we cannot do this because Ciro is not able to count. Okay, then we need another way of explaining in a visual way how many boxes he has to take. So for each restaurant, we made like cards, red cards. And each time, for instance, if he has to unload 5 boxes, he has 5 cards. He takes 1 card together with 1 box and he puts it in the restaurant. He takes another card together with 1 box and he puts it in the restaurant. And when the envelope with the cards is finished, he can see that the work here is finished as well. So they tried it little by little and it worked. But one moment when the truck driver, after 2 boxes or after 1 box, had said, "Good boy," Ciro again went to the truck and didn't want to continue his work. So we didn't know what to do. And we asked his mother. And mother said, "Oh, I know. When you say good boy, it means work is finished." Because when he was in the classroom, each time when he had finished his work, we said, "Good boy." And instead of understanding that Ciro, his work was good, he thought the work is finished. So each time when you said, "Good boy," Ciro thought that he had to stop working. So we decided only to say "good boy" when all the work was finished. And the problem behavior was finished as well. So you see that here, the problem behavior is very easy to prevent by giving him the predictability of the task. So also adult, you remember, when Ciro was a little boy, you remember the activity with the compartments? Huh? The activity needed to have a clear beginning and a clear end. Now he has learned a lot, because when he's in the truck, he sees all the boxes with olive oil. So in fact, the work is not finished, because when he puts 5 boxes in the restaurant, there's still boxes left in the truck. But he's able to understand, because in his envelope, he has the cards indicating him how many boxes he has to put into the restaurant. So you see, work, predictability in work. Later on, we're going to call this a work schedule, but it's a technical word. It only means it has to be clear for the person with autism how much work he is supposed to do. And when I say it has to be clear, it means it has to be visually clear. So here we can very easily solve the problem. Now we had many, many problems during lunch. And what kind of problems do we have? Well, when it was lunchtime and the trucker went to a restaurant with Ciro, Ciro wanted to eat in the restaurant. And it was very difficult to make him clear that even though he smelled and he could see the food, that it was not allowed to eat. It was allowed to eat when the trucker said, "We're going to eat here." So he started to hit himself right from the moment when he was in a restaurant where they were preparing the food. So thinking of the image of the iceberg and thinking of Ciro, I think it's logical. So we had to make lunchtime predictable. Chiro was used to having objects and photos in the home situation, but he also needed a portable schedule when he was with a trucker during work. So we made him a portable schedule. This means that he had a small booklet in plastic where we could put in his photos, and we put in, for instance, we go to a restaurant, then we go to another restaurant, then we go to another restaurant, and then we go to a restaurant where we'll have lunch, so that he could see when it was lunchtime. And the trucker had to show him, okay, you were going to smell and see the food, but no lunch now. Lunch will be later. And we could show him when it was allowed to have lunch. And Chiro, little by little, started to understand that you are not going to eat in all the restaurants you have to work. But he will be sure he will have his food. This was very important for him. But what also happened, and I explained you that he hid himself also during lunch in the restaurant.